Hey y'all, welcome back to Just a Girl Talk. My name is Janine. I'm your host for tonight, and I'm so happy to be here. Y'all, let me just say this disclaimer. I was on live earlier, and the devil was trying me. Okay, it was really, really trying me, trying to stop this conversation. And y'all can see the title. Is cheating an arrangement? Is it cheating or an arrangement? And I feel like this topic is just a lot. When women see that word cheater, I think the universe starts to like mess with the wires. And I think that's what happened earlier, because this conversation, I think, is important. Number one, because I think we make a lot of assumptions around the topic of cheating. As I said before, whenever we talk about relationships or healthy relationships, or why marriage is important, or why you shouldn't do this, or why you should do that, every time there's some conversation centered around a man cheating on you. It don't matter what you do, he's going to cheat on you. Like, it's always centered around cheating. I don't know why. I don't know what about cheating is so triggering, but I feel like it makes it really, really hard to have these conversations and talk about this stuff, because women attack you when you don't have a very black and white viewpoint on cheating. Like, they want you to be like, if you cheat, I'm out. And if you're a woman who says, you know what, I don't know, they're like, oh, you're a terrible person, you're weak, you're dumb. They will call you so many names if you don't conform to the same mentality of, once you cheat, I'm out type of, and I think when you're just a realistic person, and number one, when you are a forgiving person, I think it looks a little bit different. I personally feel like, in my opinion, I think more women stay than leave. That's just my opinion. I think more women stay than leave. That's just my opinion. But the topic came from, is it cheating or an arrangement? Based on a conversation that Cam Newtown had on his podcast with Dr. Sarah Fonnet. Hope I'm saying her name correctly. She is someone who has a podcast. She has helped people elevate their lives, financial wealth, kind of just giving the same, like, I don't want to say therapeutic, but like life coachy stuff. When I looked up her information, y'all, I didn't see any educational information, which I know that with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, there's been a lot of conversation around if she's a doctor or not. And I feel like if these women are doctors, right, have PhDs, psychology, whatever it might be, counseling, they need to list that in their bio. I feel like if I'm a doctor and I have this background, I'm giving people relationship information about the mental, how our brains are wired, men and women. I feel like it would be essential to have my educational background in there. Like, I'm going to be like, I'm Janine such and such, for my education at, let's say, University of Pennsylvania. I hold a degree in this, like, and got into how I became the doctor in relationships. But for some reason they're not, and that's okay. I'm not saying that she's not. I'm not saying she doesn't hold a degree to be able to call herself a doctor, but I'm just saying we don't need any more doctors out here giving us the wrong information. If y'all get what I'm saying. Okay, so if you're in the live, please be sure to tap this. Is it tap? Like the live. I'm thinking I'm on TikTok, y'all, but like the live. I want to get into the conversation. I want to share the clip because I think this clip was that I'm going to share was so good, and I think it was so necessary for Cam and Sarah to talk about this. For those who do not know, which I think everybody knows, but if you've been living under a rock, Cam Newton, his show has been talked about a lot more since Dr. Bryant has been on the show, in my opinion, at least for women. I feel like women have paid attention more because they feel like Dr. Cheyenne exposed him and ate him up. So now women are like, yeah, we can't wait to, see what else he say dumb or whatever. So we know that came out, talked about his relationship with his girlfriend, Jazz Brown. She's a comedian, actress, whatever. And a couple weeks ago, he sat down with Corey Holcomb on his same podcast. It's called Funky Friday. And it came out that he has cheated, messed around with other women or another woman in his relationship, right? This is what he shared. So since then, right, Dr. Cheyenne, she of course went on the Breakfast Club and she talked about how she feels bad for Jazz and she wants to have a conversation with her and help her navigate because he doesn't respect her and he's publicly messed with other women and just all these assumptions. So everyone has kind of been assuming their own assumptions about Cam Newton and Jazz Brown's relationship. They think she's just taking anything. She's just getting cheated on and walk like a dog. And I'm just like, how do we know? How do we know that's happening, right? Like, realistically, again, why would a man go on his own show that I'm sure he knows his woman watches or will see this stuff? I mean, they're celebrities. Come on. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people are going to see this and share that he's been with another woman while in his relationship and she not know that. I mean, come on, y'all. Why would she not know that? It would be foolish for her not to know that if he was to share that. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into the clip because I was so happy that Sarah asked the question directly because I think everybody has wanted to know this so they can stop making all these assumptions. So I was like, yes, girl, I'm so happy that you flat out just asked the question because we want to know what it is. So let me just go ahead and blow this thing on up. And let's get into.
Ask one question though, a personal question, please. Because, and this is for me, I want clarity because I saw a clip that you did and it went viral and it was talking about relationships and you had said what you said about your relationship now and how it hasn't always been that person. And I think for me, inside of that, my mind immediately went to, well, is this really cheating or is this an arrangement? Because I think that a lot of the times people that don't understand or don't know, or they're so quick to label something. Oh, that man's a cheater. He's a cheater. Is he? Or is this something that you guys have decided and come from an empowering way where now, she may feel like she has to respond or whatever it is. But the truth is she only feels like she has to respond because people don't know what it is.
For sure.
Let's stop right there, y'all. Because that's that right there, that last statement that she said, that she feels like she has to respond only because people don't know what it is. And I think that that's a very, very real thing that happens so often in relationships, not just celebrity relationships, but just relationships in general. Women, or people, should I say, men and women, but women specifically, feel like they have to clap back, respond, and defend themselves. And you're trying to do it because people don't understand what it is. So you're trying to find a way to explain it. You're trying to find a way to make people get it. And it's like, you got to realize that people who just don't know what it is, or who don't understand what you have going on, it's like no point to try to explain, because they don't know what you and your partner have going on. They want to make all these assumptions, and it pisses you off, right? Because it's like, why are they making these assumptions? They don't know what it is. And I'm annoyed, which I get, and I understand completely that you're annoyed because people are just making up lies and assumptions. But in reality, it is like nobody knows. Is it an agreement? Have we been okay to have an open relationship? It may be to some people like, why would you do that? I would never do that. That's the key word. You would never do it, but she would. And that's okay. I think for me, my only gripe with a lot of this stuff is, and I talk about this stuff a lot of time as women cry and cry and cry about not having this life, this thing, that thing. You do all this crying, you keep doing the same poor behaviors and making excuses to not change. I can't rock with that. There's the other side of women who make a choice. I sit in my stuff and I go on with that. I'm not sitting online and crying about, oh my God, I can't believe Cam Newton is, he always spent time with all his kids. Why would you be complaining about that when you knew how many kids he had? Sit in your stuff. You made a choice. Don't try to come out and get pity and sympathy from anybody else when you made a choice. That's my only thing. If you're going to make the choice, if you're going to be in a relationship where there's an agreement, you got to sit in it. But that's, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of women get in their own feelings about your situation. Why are you mad about me and my man's relationship? Why does it bother you about what we have going on? Let's keep going.
So I think that ultimately, because most men, most high value, high earning, masculine men with a lot of options at a certain time of their life will still exercise those options. That's just the reality of the situation. And also, I think that if you talk about it in an empowering way of, we are grown adults and we know exactly what we're signing up for, that sounds a little bit different than, I get to do what I want to do. For sure. You know what I mean? Just the difference between this is an arrangement or this is cheating. I don't think most people understand that, because most people will never be in the top 1% of the 1%, nor date the top 1% of the 1%.
Mm-hmm. Now, to answer your question, I think this is what makes this platform a little different, mm-hmm. because I've seen you on multiple platforms, and I don't think I would agree, or a lot of people can see the life that I've lived.
Right.
Or can cope with like this, that, and the third. To answer your question, I don't think this is an arrangement, nor is it cheating. I think you grow with somebody. Mm. And
now, let me pause there, because when I first heard that, I was like, Cam, it's not an arrangement or cheating. It's called growing with somebody. I was like, Cam, please don't start with all the word mumbo jumbo. Please don't start with that. Because I'm just like, we don't need you to talk in circles. Just give us a straight answer. Like, please. Because that one little piece, I'm like, here he go. But let's continue.
Crazy thing, going back to what I previously said, when you're living in your truth.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people want the benefits without also accepting the bullshit. Mm-hmm. Now, a person who may hear that may say, "Oh, so I'm okay, I'm good. I'm sorry that you're not for me."
Yeah.
But when you cite the source of who that comment is coming from, you're not mine either.
Yo, he ate with that. Cite the source means look at you. Look who's talking. Look who's talking. Look at you. Look at your face. Look at your body. Look at your life. Look at your attitude. Look at your demeanor. You're not my cup of tea. Will never be a cup that I will ever sip. He ate down with that. Because there's always the people who always say, I would never. Girl, you ain't even got to worry about ever. Never, ever, ever. You understand what I'm saying? And that is so key when we talk about this stuff and have these conversations, because people are always giving their 2 cents when it's like, you tried it. You tried it.
So
yeah,
the thing that I say for every man, and with having that conversation with Corey Holcomb, it allowed me to speak my truth. Mm-hmm. But I could not go into, because of the timing and how the conversation went. The reality of it is, when you're living in your truth, being able to be 100% yourself that's the flex.
Yeah.
That's the flex. Not the flex in saying I get to do whatever the fuck I want to do. The flex is being able to say, I know I fucked up. Babe, before you hear this shit from somebody else, I'm man enough to tell you this is where I'm at mentally. And she does an unbelievable job by not judging the branch of the tree, but getting to the root of the tree. Because everything stems from something. And as I put my life in the forefront, I'm challenging all men to have that uncomfortable conversation with your partner.
Sheesh, yeah.
That we all like, stop the lying, bro. Stop all that fuck ass, bullshit ass, like that bullshit, dog. Cause when you have these conversations with the fellas, and there's a meme or something that Mike Epps said in a stand-up comedy. He's like, that nigga don't act like that. Like, but for me, I act like that around my partner. She knows that. And this is not something that I act when I need other people to witness it. The thing that is the biggest flex is, like, we go on dates, we go out, we do life together, and I'm able to be myself. I ask her about her, she asked me about me, and we throw it all out there. And
let's pause there, right? First of all, I think it's very commendable for a man to be able to admit when he's wrong. People in general, but I think when it's coming to your partner, saying I messed up, I might have stepped out, I did something dumb, I made a bad choice, not a mistake, I made a bad choice. Being able to own up and not, that takes a lot to have to come out and say, I did something. I did something, and I want to tell you what I did before it come out. I want to be the first to tell you, because you always know, and there's a possibility that she might leave. But I think what it sounds like with Jazz, his relationship with Jazz, that there's something in her and who she is as a person and his partner that he felt comfortable or feels comfortable enough to go to her and say, I messed up, and know that she's going to be upset. She'll probably be hurt, but she's going to listen and hear why I did what I did. We always say it don't matter, whatever. Like, and again, rich people problems and why they do what they did is totally different than somebody who's not, but there's still a reason behind how I had why I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? And then just being able to, like you said, be myself. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because my husband and I think we do a really good job of like being our authentic selves around each other. My husband is, I think anybody who knows him, he's the same through and through. And I think being able to be yourself, and we talk about this all the time about like when you have conversations with your partner, and we can talk about this and that, we could joke about this, and we can talk about relationships, we can talk about other women, we can talk about his past relationship with his daughter's mom. I didn't really have like these serious relationship with ex-boyfriends, but we can talk about this stuff, and it's not going to be like oh my God, why are you telling me? Like we can talk about this stuff. And that's a beautiful thing, to be able to talk about stuff without it having to turn into this jealousy and argument. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a really, really, really good thing.
Of course, there are some things that I've said to her that hurt her feelings.
Of course.
But in return, she says some things that hurt my feelings.
Of course.
The flex is we're able to go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And we cuddle.
Yeah.
We talk.
Yes.
We wake up in the morning. I smoke my cigar. I have my espresso. She eats her croissant. She drinks her smoothie. And we're able to communicate.
Yeah.
That right there is something that's easily said, but not always implemented.
And I think the problem is because men have been groomed to lie based off of their experiences with women. And this isn't to give anybody an out, because I do have, you know, I speak a lot to the men and accountability for women, but let's call a spade a spade. The truth is, Cam, if you were honest from the beginning, and I've only ever been in monogamous relationships, right? So I don't know. But if my man were to come to me, because I've never been in a relationship for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I can't speak from an experience I've never had, but so often people try to do that. So if my man came to me and said, baby, you know what? I want to try something different. The truth is, I don't know what my answer would be. However, the level of respect that I have for that man, that we can have a conversation and be like, okay, this is what it looks like. Because a lot of women think they're in monogamous relationships, but their men just keep it hidden. And so I feel like in a huge way, and that is the point, that men and women need to communicate about the desires of their heart. And then I can powerfully choose you, or I can powerfully let you go. But
okay, so I want to pause there, y'all, because what she said about if her man came to her and said, I want to do something different, whatever that might mean. Like you said, I've only been in monogamous relationships as well. So I commend her for being able to say, I don't know what I would say. And I think women want you to be able to say for sure, well, I would do this, I would do that. Like if my man tell me he cheated, I'm leaving. They want you to be able to say, well, I would do the same thing too. And it's like, I've said this before. If I find out my husband cheated on me or was cheating on me or whatever happened, he told me, I can't say 100% at this very moment that I'm going to leave. I don't know. I don't know, because based on what happened, what the situation may be, what came out of it, what has it have me looking like, how my kids affected. Like I can't say. And women will again attack you and call you all types of names just because you don't 100% give them the answer of he cheats, I leave. He cheats, I walk away. He cheats, I don't forgive. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Like that's the idea. Or if he wants to open up the door for other stuff, again, that's everybody's preference. People can do what they want to do. It's just all these assumptions. So I think for her to have that realistic response, like, I don't know. As I said, I think more women stay with the man who cheated on them than leave, in my opinion. I think more women stay than leave. The women who talk all this stuff about how they would never do this and they would never do that, they are the same ones who are doing it every single day. Every day. Every day.
So often we get into these spaces where it's like, oh no, well, my man would never. Your man probably is. Yes. My girl would never. Oh, your girl probably already did. Yes. You know, and so I think that it's important to have that conversation, because it's like, and this is my honest truth is, I think cheating is weak. I think cheating is weak. And I say that because you're bold enough to make this action that you're hiding around, and you're deceitful and you got to be sneaky, but you're not bold enough to tell your partner. Now, an arrangement, like I said, if you know exactly what it is, or you know exactly what to expect, that is completely different from a deceitful act. It's not the act of a man having sex with another woman that women care about. Why is the first question that a woman asks after she's cheated on, well, do you love her? Because it's not about the physical act. We know that men don't care about most of the women that they smash anyway. It's not realistic to even say that. So I feel like women don't care about the act. They care about the feeling. They care about the deceit. They care about the lies. And if men would just take accountability and keep it a buck with how and who they are, then it would be a different ballgame. And I do think that that's a conversation that needs to happen more often. And I don't know why there's so much shame wrapped around humans being human. It is what it, in my personal opinion.
But we're all living a lie.
I rebuke that.
Not we're all, but there's people who are living a lie.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that cheating is weak? You know, I mean, she clarified like the act of not being honest. I mean, there's a song. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jasmine Sullivan, but Jasmine Sullivan's first album, she has a song on there and it's called Live a Lie. And she sings about basically living a lie and basically she would rather not know the truth than know what's going on. Like live a lie. It makes her happier. It makes it easier. It makes her feel better about the relationships. Easy answer, yes. The relationship and what's going on if she just lives a lie. And I think a lot of women prefer that. I think if I'm being honest, I felt like that at one point in time. Like I just rather not know. And I think most women do. Like I'd rather not know. And it's different. Like if you clearly know what's going on, you're just in denial and like delusional about what's happening versus if things are great and stuff is going on that doesn't matter, I'd rather not know. What's wrong, Lovey? So I think it sounds great to be able to be like men should be honest and men should just be real about what's happening. But it's like it's not realistic. Every woman is not going to be able to sit down and be like have a mature conversation about what happened, babe. Tell me what was going on. Where was your head at? Like that's unrealistic. Like it sounds good. There would be a perfect world to be able to have that conversation, but I think even some men are not man enough to do that, you know. I personally can't find a reason to validate cheating. I think I wouldn't use the word validating. I like to use the word understanding why it may occur, right? And the reason why I say that I can understand it is because working with couples and helping couples work through infidelity, there's a lot of backstory that leads to man or woman stepping out on their relationship. And I think we all think it's just very much like the TV scene where the husband just like wakes up one day and he falls into the lap of a woman and the woman is his perfect wife. And it's like, that's not the realistic side of how some men end up in tough situations. So I wouldn't say it's validating it. I think I can understand how it happens when many men are living in relationships, marriages, not being intimate with their partner, really trying their best to be strong. And I think I know we like to say like this is not realistic, but I do believe that people get into very, very weak, vulnerable positions. And that can be like, let's use for example, the whole like the TV scene where like a lot of cheating happens in movies, like the man who's the doctor in the office or the big boss in the office and he has his female secretary and she stays late at work. It always kind of plays out that way where they just always end up messing with each other. But I think like that's a clear example, right? Like you're working late every night. This woman is here with you. She's bringing you a coffee when you want to. She's attending to you. Like she's just your secretary, but she's just on top of it, right? And you're like, wow, a feeling of a woman who's just getting something I need, even if it's work related, but it's making me feel good. It's making me feel seen. Whereas my wife, she's blowing me off. She's not paying me no mind. She don't give me no attention. You know what I'm saying? So could that make me more vulnerable to I'm getting a feeling that I haven't had in a long time and it feels good. Again, not saying in the moment the man is like, oh, I'm gonna cheat with this woman. I just think it starts to open, like your mind can start to wonder, you know what I'm saying? And then the more it happens, again, I'm not validating it, but I can when I say when you are not getting your needs met and it start to, you can sometimes this is also the case. I think again, I'm gonna use men. You may not even know that your needs are not being met until a woman starts to meet your needs. You know, like you're like, wow, I haven't felt this feeling in a long time. I haven't felt this way in a long time. You might not even realize it until you start to get attention that you haven't gotten before. So I think that again, I wouldn't say that I'm validating if he was it's wrong. Like it's unfaithful. But I think if I was a wife, and I'm just using myself as an example, and this was to happen to me, and I was to be able to be logical and understand where my husband was coming from, understand the role that I play, right? So if my husband is saying to me, you don't pay me no attention, we haven't had sex in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, which is unfortunately realistic for a lot of people. Um, and I might not want to hear that, but I had to sit there, and then he says, when last time we had sex, and it's like, then it's like, dang, I'm mad, I'm hurt, but it's like, dang, what's today? December 2nd, like May, like that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I know women don't understand that conversation because it's like I'm putting blame on, and I'm not saying it's you're blaming, but I always say we are responsible for our meeting our partner's needs. And I think when you stop trying to meet your partner's needs, you open a door for somebody else to do so. That's just my take on it. So what it sounded like for me with Cam, it sounded like he did cheat on her. It doesn't sound like he had an arrangement. It sounded like he did cheat on her, and he came to her. I don't know what he didn't necessarily clarify if it was multiple women or one or whatever, but he did clarify. I mean, he did say that he came to her and said, "Babe, I messed up. I'm gonna tell you before this happened." So I don't think it's an arrangement. I think that it was just he cheated, and he told her what it was, and she was able to forgive him, understand what happened, what was going on, blah, 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 blah. Again, like I said, we think men who have money, whatever, they don't have a reason to cheat. They just cheat just because. Who knows? Let's just say hypothetically.
You don't have that money.
Hypothetically, let's just say, I don't know. So I just think that it doesn't sound like there's an arrangement. So I think the women who are trying to paint this picture like she's in this open relationship where the arrangement is he gets to do whatever he wants, that's not what I heard at all. I think he made it clear that they have an open communication. He used the words growing together, which I think, like I said, Cam sometimes be talking a bunch of, I don't know, words. Sometimes they don't make sense. But as he elaborated, it was.
What, they're not in a relationship?
He didn't. He said it's not. He said, I'm not going to call it cheating or an arrangement. I will call it growing together. So again, as he elaborated, he did say, like, I came to her and said, I messed up. So if it was an arrangement, I mean, again, it could still be because he's saying, like, I'm going to tell you even before the blogs hit or whatever. But it sounds more so like he made it clear that, like, I've hurt her, she's hurt me, but we can still talk about it. We can still do things, blah, 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 blah. But let me see. Let's continue with this a little bit.
Look on Instagram.
Come on, bro.
Open the app.
It's all power couple goals, this, that, and the third. But it's like, bro, nigga, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell her what you really doing for that other person.
Yes.
Or, sis, tell him
about your work husband.
Come on.
You gotta tell him.
Texting, because cheating comes in many different shapes, forms, and sizes.
Agreed.
And it don't always have to deal or do with the physical act of sex.
I agree.
So you said something real quick, and I have to move on. We are 40 minutes into this first sector.
Oh, wow.
But we're starting a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
In my situation, I never went into or never had a conversation to say, like, I want to try something new. That's not what it is. Mm-hmm. We started off like, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. This is my triggers. This is what makes me weak. Mm-hmm. This is my negative. If we're looking at this in a very
Okay, so let's pause there, right? So I've talked about this before, about how women, Dr. Bryant specifically, tried to make Jazz a victim and try to feel sympathy for her and I feel bad for her and I want her to feel that she's better than this. And he made it very clear, right? He was very open and honest about, this is what it is. Right. This is, like you said, these are my triggers. This is what it is. I might dibble and dabble. Again, I don't know, but I'm just using it as a hype. I might dibble and dabble here. I might do this. Can you handle this? This is who I am. Right. And as I said this before, my only gripe with Jazz is the fact that we allow money and fame to strip you of all standing on your morals, standing on what you, not your morals, not, but like more so standing on your, what you set out to have. I want a family, I want marriage, I want this, right? So
like
your principles. So that's my only gripe with her, that for whatever reason, again, wanting to be in certain world, I think women have a real fetish of being with the man that all the women want, which is also insane. So I think that's the only gripe of, like, I'm not saying she doesn't like him, but I'm just saying in the sense of, I'm liking you more because you have the fame and all that, right? So that's my only gripe with it. But again, like I said before, I don't view her as a victim. I think she was very, as we can see now, he's making it very clear, she knew what it was. She accepted what it was. And I think the problem that people have is that she's not complaining because she knew what she got herself into. And women don't understand it because they wanted to be like, she was bamboozled and she was done dirty and it was all these secrets. And it's like Cheyenne said, he's disrespecting her. He's publicly, it's like, sis, I know my man. I know him through and through, whatever it might be. Again, you may not be able to handle what I can handle, and that's okay. But I know if I decide to be with a man with 6 damn kids, baby mamas, this and that, I know I gotta be able to, I can't walk in with all these demands. And he's who he is. He can have anybody in the world. So if I'm either going to conform to what it is or keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I see the comment, would she do that if he had regular income? Probably not. If we're being all the way honest, no. Probably not. Probably not. That's the reality of it. Probably not. Probably not. But this is the reality. When you have money, when you have status, you can do certain things. So we can be honest about that. Most women probably wouldn't deal with this if the man didn't have a certain status, lifestyle. They probably wouldn't, if we being all the way honest. But again, like I said, this is a clear that I was clear who I am. So there's no way that when something does happen, it's not to be like, I get to throw in your face, well, I told you, but it is kind of like, I did share that this is my struggle, right? So that's kind of like, I'm giving you we always say this all the time. If I lay it out on this floor, if I lay things out for you and you decide to take it, that's on you. At least I told you. So if I decide to say, hey, I got 5 kids, you date men with kids, you like, sure, I told you. So that you got to know that that's a lot of kids, that's a lot of time. So I can't can't come back and be like, dang, you got all these kids, you're always busy. I told you. You decided to say yes, right? So if I was to lie to you and say, how many kids you got? I got 1, then that would be me omitting information. And now I can understand why you're mad, because I didn't tell you everything, but I told you. You had a choice to say yes or no and keep it moving. So I think, again, this is her decision. And I think women have to learn how to respect people's decisions, even though they don't agree with them and you don't understand it. Because again, I think a lot of women, the women who have a problem with it, the AKA, the Dr. Cheyenne Bryans, all those women will hop, skip, and jump for opportunity to be with a man like Cam Newton, even just to even sleep with him. That's, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're not his woman, just to sleep with him, some women would be super excited to do that, unfortunately. So yeah, let's keep going.
It's a tangible way. When we're on eHarmony, tell me something good about you.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And I'm also going to say, what is something bad about you? Blah, 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 blah. We have those type of conversations. Important. So it's not about me doing certain things that she's not aware of. It's when we started this journey together. We made the oath to each other, promised to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. There's a thing that I feel that triggers me in a relationship. Don't spoon feed me information. Period. Knowing who I am, you know what the fuck I want to know.
Yeah.
If you went out with your girls, cool. How was that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. Oh man, she did this and she did that. Yeah, but you keeping out that it was a man or men with y'all. That's what the fuck I'm asking.
Period.
Don't sit up here and leave that out.
Right.
And a lot of times women do spoon feed information, which makes them just as guilty.
But it's because of the fragility of the ego.
That fragility word just flew. What the fuck is fragility?
It's when it's fragile.
Okay.
So if something is fragile, you have to be mindful of how you deal with it, especially if you're dealing with a high earning, high value masculine man.
But if you're trying to keep it a buck,
you can keep it a buck, but we have to do it. I'm telling you, because Cam, my experience and my now is high value, high earning masculine man. I cannot be like, baby, I was out with some dudes and we all like, I probably wouldn't say it like that. I would probably say it in a way that I know that you want to digest, but you know, it's you speaking from a man's perspective, but I'm a woman, so it's different.
Okay, let me tell you. A woman's power is to protect her body.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna pause there. So again, I think this is a tough conversation for a lot of women, because anytime the conversation around other women cheating is just becomes a very sensitive topic, and it gets a lot of women up in uproar, right? Because again, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of what you shouldn't do, what you should do, I would have, should have. It's a lot of that, right? It's a lot of that conversation. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't handle talking about this. So I think what he's saying, tell your woman this, tell her this, or tell you, it sounds good. It sounds easy to just throw out what's happening, or like you said, tell me about your work husband, or whatever it might be. These conversations would be easy to have, but we also got to know who we're in relationships with, and it's tough. So again, I think it's unfortunate that the door being in a public eye, and I think for Jazz, these are maybe, again, all the stuff that she may be aware of, cool, right? But I think it's still tough when you got to also deal with like everybody's speculation. And like she said, like you got to respond because people don't understand. So then you're responding out of trying to make people understand your situation. And you already know what it is, but everybody else doesn't know. And I think, again, what I heard, I think it was just we're together. We're not saying we're in an open relationship, but I'm also committed to you. You're committed to me, but I'm also sharing my struggles. It's how he said it. AKA, I'm a cheat every now and then. Are you cool with it? Maybe, you know? So again, it's just so messed up, because I feel like Jazz, I think they seem to have a lovely relationship, but it's just like, why do we let money rule us? Why do we let money manipulate us? You know, it manipulates us from staying focused and staying on our principles. Because again, I don't think that Cam, the man is, I think he's, again, could be great for her. They seem to have a great relationship, a great bond. He said, we have good conversation. We can be honest. I can be myself. She could be herself. That's a beautiful thing. I think the situations, the kids, and not wanting marriage, and all the stuff that comes with like the person, is like, you didn't have to settle. Do you think he is right to put her in that situation to make a choice between self-respect or high-value man? I think he gave her a choice. He didn't put her in a situation. He came to her with who he was, as he stated, right? This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I like. Do you want to? I don't know how you want. Do you want to date me? Can I have your number? Whatever it might have been. So that was a choice. I don't think he put her in any situation. Unless I lie to you, which he said, unless I lie to you, I don't give you the choice to say you don't want this, then that's me putting you in a situation. But if I'm honest with you about what it is, that was a choice. I don't think he put her in any situation. That once, again, if I'm a woman and I know what I want, like let's just say I don't want to date a man with kids. That's what I've been saying for years. And I decided to give in to a man with 6 kids. That was a choice of mine. He didn't fool me. He didn't make me change my not stand on my principles. That was my choice. That's my choice. So I don't think that he put her in any situation. I think even women are saying he made her look bad. He disrespecting her. He's out here bragging about how he sleep with other women. It's like, for some people, it might feel like, why would you do that? Why would you publicly admit that? But again, it seems like they have an open communication and healthy communication that I don't think, I mean, obviously he don't know what people want to ask him on these shows per se, right? And how he's going to answer. So again, that's why he's saying, I'm going to tell you beforehand, or we're going to talk about it and we're going to come to each other. And, you know, again, if she's telling people to leave her alone, let her be, they're good, she knows her man, why are we going to be worried about it? Why are we fighting to be in their business? I just think it was nice that this woman, Dr. Sarah, asked the question out directly, like, what is it? Are you cheating or is it arrangement? Do you have an open relationship? Like, what is it? And I think that was a good question, because it stops all the like making all these assumptions. And again, like you said, I made it very clear who I was, and she probably made it clear who she was. Because remember when her first video came out on that podcast about her submitting to her man, like being submissive and doing everything for a man and packing his bag, and she just said reading his mind, like everything that he wants, she does it before he even asks her to do it. And women were like, oh my, I think that's people, the verse are speculating that she was with Cam Newton, and they was like, oh my gosh, why would you be doing that for a man? He not your husband, you rubbing his back to sleep and all, like you study, like I would never do that. So it was, I think women have already been hating on her and Cam Newton since she's shared how devoted she is as a woman to taking care of her man. She said that is her flex, how good she takes care of her man. So I think women have already had their issues. No, I think it was good for him to present the situation in the beginning. You want to always be honest up front. You always want to be honest and upfront, because once you put it out there, then that person gets to decide. If you wait down the line and then I'm going to try to come back and tell you after, it's like, I'm already in it. I'm already invested. My feelings are involved. So I think you should be upfront and honest from the beginning. And I think he did it the right way. A lot of these men won't. A lot of these men won't be honest. They won't tell you the truth. They'll let you think they only got one kid. They got 4. You know what I'm saying? They won't be honest at all. So I think it is healthy. I think it is very healthy as for a man to be able to say, this is who I am. This is who I am. And us as women, we get to say yes or no. And we as women are not used to women dealing with men who are honest with them. I think we are used to women having men who lie to them. So we wanted Jazzy to be surprised, like, oh, Jazz, did you hear your man said on that podcast that he been with other women? It's like, girl, I already know. I know. You know, I know. What you mean you know? He told me. We talked about it. And you ain't leave him? Nope, we still together. We still together. We working through. I understand him. We getting stronger every day. I'm working on forgiving him, retrusting, whatever it might be. And they like, what? Because they think they tell you something that you don't know, because they're used to us only dealing with a bunch of liars. You know, that's all they're used to. That's all they're used to. So it's so messed up. It's so messed up that this conversation always it just turns into like this bashing. You can't just talk about it. People are always bashing, and throwing jabs at women for staying and not leaving. And it's just like, life ain't that simple. People are human. People are human. I don't know. I just think that we have to, as he said, start being upfront and real with ourselves, real with our partners, real with yourself in the world of dating, and what you walk into, what you want, what you don't want, what you can handle, what you can't handle. Never say never. Never say never. Okay. Never, ever, ever say never. That is very key. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for rocking out with me tonight. I appreciate y'all for being here. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel, support the channel. You can drop what's it called here? What's the things called, y'all? Oh my God, super chats. If you want to gift, if you want to support the channel, you can send in a super chat. And you can also support via Cash App as well. Shop Just a Girl merchandise. The link is in my bio and on my profile. And I will be going live every day, y'all. I think I'm going to try to go live every day this week. Probably going to try to attempt to go live around. Don't hold me to it. I'm going to go live every day, y'all, this week. I'm not going to set a time, but I do, y'all. I'm committed to going live every day this week. I'm going to be serious about it because I got banned from TikTok Live, and I feel like there's no reason for me not to use my voice and still speak up and do this. So I would definitely be back on live tomorrow night. Just subscribe to the channel so that way you can get the notifications of when I set the live to be able to go live. So stay tuned for tomorrow's conversation. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, and I look forward to the next Girl Talk conversation. Everyone have a good night and be safe.